Jeff Bezos, perfect example. What if he hit $1 billion mindset and stopped? He's several hundred billion mindset. And I always have this attitude, if one did it, other people can do it. But for certainty, if multiple people did it, then anybody can do it. This book was written because John Maxwell said, if you don't get this book out, the manuscript for this book, he looked at it in 2012 because I started in 2010. But I never really felt like I had arrived enough to be an example that I was entitled to write a book. So this book was written because John said, if you don't write this book, then your next book, which will be the 10-figure mindset, won't make sense. Because I'm already on my way of going to $1 billion in net worth just in the last 4 years. And I hit my 350 target this last year working with Grant. So the point here is I needed to put out 9-figure mindset, how to go from 0 to 100 million. Now, Grant would tell you if you're making $1 million, you should 10x that thinking, which takes you to 10 million. And then when you make 10 million, you got to 10x it again, which takes you to 100 million. All this book does is tells you how I went from no net worth to 10 million in net worth to 100 million in net worth. So the next book can explain the principles of the 10x rule and how I went from 100 million in net worth in a third of the time to $1 billion in net worth, because that is the premise of the 10x rule. And then the next is the 10 billion. And that is what Grant's saying. And what I want to do is document my live transformation through those cycles so people can see, to get to 100 million, you first got to get to 1 million, then you get to 10 million, then you get to 100 million, then you go to 1 billion. It'll be $1 billion mindset. And then it'll be $10 billion mindset. So one thing early on, I developed phenomenal sales skills. And I would say to any entrepreneur, you need to develop remarkable sales skills, because you're always going to be selling either why someone should join your team, why somebody should spend money with you, why somebody might invest money with you, why somebody might sell their business to you. Like, if you don't master your ability to communicate and persuade people to make a good decision, you're always going to struggle. And remember, 83% of all businesses were founded, if they're under 100 million, they were founded by technicians who are good at something. So they started their business, but they're not intentionally developing their sales skills. So I say, number one is your ability to communicate and persuade. Number two is learning the financial algorithm to successfully build a business, because the chief complaint for why 97% go out of business is no demand for product or service, can't hire any good people, and don't have the financial resources. So if those are the three chief complaints, make sure whatever you're doing has been proven in the marketplace. There's no point in reinventing something. Secondly, understand that your communication skills will dictate your ability to lead and guide other people, and you can't build anything big without other people. And then the third thing is simply understanding how money works and how it's supposed to fuel the business, so that you don't make all the mistakes that people make, put them out of business when they've already proven there's demand for product or service, they've already got a team, but then they make the financial mistakes. So solve those three problems and you're going to have a high probability of success. You know, it's laughable, but look, the fact is that I sit there with people that are worth 100 billion or 150 billion. I broke bread and had wine with some of those people. So the truth is, Jeff Bezos, perfect example. What if he hit $1 billion mindset and stopped? You know, he's several hundred billion mindset. Bill Gates. I mean, there's people that have done it. And I always have this attitude, if one did it, other people can do it. But for certainty, if multiple people did it, then anybody can do it. And there are multiple people who have done it. Look, if you want to 10x your personal, professional, financial life, if you want a roadmap, a blueprint on how somebody has done it, because that was a void, I had to go figure out different mentors at different points in time. So this book is really me engineering how a 2.4 GPA got to a net worth of 100 million. But what's interesting is that's where it left off in this book, 2019-20, where I started with Grant. But in the last 4 years, I've increased my net worth over 350 million. And so the next book will be coming out and explaining that. And I think I'm just trying to document in real time exactly how I identified those gaps in my life, found mentors to fill those gaps in my life, set targets, took action, and broke through as a person who is voted least likely to succeed, didn't go to college, had a low GPA, and sucked at most subjects in school. So if I can do that from a little town in Corvallis, Oregon, I promise you, anybody that wants to do it can do it. If you want the book, there's some free content. It's 9figuremindset.com. And then I have $1,000 of free content associated with it. Or go to Amazon and just order it. Or go to bdawson.com. That's just my personal site. Or go to cardoneventures.com. Or go to @BrandonM Dawson on Instagram. Or go to grantcardone.com if you can't remember any of those.